The reason you tense up when you play fast has nothing to do with your fingers or the 16th notes or even the tempo. It's because you're not giving your body enough time to coordinate your movements. So you're rushing through with brute force, hoping your notes land in the right place. And of course, your body doesn't actually know that they will. That's incredibly anxiety and tension inducing. So I'm Joseph Arnold, a professional violinist and certified Alexander Technique teacher. I spent over 20 years helping musicians break free from tension, pain, and the try harder trap. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why speed creates tension, and I'll give you a specific technique that you can use today to play fast passages with ease. No metronome drills, no stretches, no, just relax. Okay, so here's what most musicians believe. Fast passages are harder, so they require more effort. But more effort means more tension, and tension is just the price of speed. But all that's wrong. Speed doesn't cause tension. Rushing does. And there's a crucial difference. When you play slowly, your body has time to coordinate each movement. Your fingers know where to go. Your hands and your arms or your voice work as one fluid unit. You feel in control. But when you speed up, something changes. You outrun your body's ability to process what's coming next. You're not coordinating, you're scrambling. You're hoping your fingers or your notes land in the right place. And your body knows the difference between coordinated movement and scrambling. It responds to scrambling with tension because tension is your body's emergency mode. It's bracing for the crash. One of my students, a pianist I'll call Sam, put it perfectly. He said, "Sometimes I'm playing and it's all I can do to play catch up with the notes flying by." Right? That's exactly what rushing feels like from the inside. You're not playing the music, you're chasing it. In a minute, I'm going to show you the exact technique that Sam used to play those same passages at full tempo with zero tension. But first, let me tell you why the standard advice doesn't work. Okay, you've probably heard this before. The most common advice for speed-related tension is just relax. Try to relax more. Why aren't you relaxed? This is worse than useless because now you're trying hard to relax, and trying hard is the very problem you're trying to fix in the first place. So here's something most musicians never think about. You've had years of training in what to do. Scales, exercise, technique drills. But almost nobody gets any training in what not to do. Music, like everything in life, is about balance. And when we've gotten so caught up in doing, trying harder and harder, then we don't have any actual skills for ease and undoing. Not a single one. You have scales for speed, you have etudes for accuracy, but where is your practice routine for relaxation? It doesn't exist in most musical instruction. So the other standard advice is to practice slowly with the metronome and gradually increase the tempo, one click at a time. And you know what? That sounds logical from the outside, but here's the problem. If you're ignoring what your body is doing while you're speeding up, and you're probably speeding up with tension, right? Then you're just building tension into your fast playing. You're training your body to associate that tempo with that level of effort. So when you get to the performance speed, the tension is baked in. It's not a speed problem, it's an attention problem. So now, what you might be thinking is, okay, what about stretches? What about physical therapy? And here's the thing, no amount of stretching, massage, or exercises, or even warm-ups will help you play faster with ease. These approaches treat the symptoms. And if you tried other body awareness approaches, even the Alexander, which I love and which I teach, you may have noticed that some ways of learning these things get you focusing on stuff like the direction of your spine or your head-neck-back relationship while playing. And if you're doing this while playing fast, it can feel like juggling two things at once. And so this is too much. It's too much to handle. So what I offer is a root cause solution. And the root cause is about what you're paying attention to. Pay attention to the right thing, and the tension habits unravel by themselves. It's no longer a mystery. So If relaxing doesn't work and metronome's drills miss the point, then what does work? Here's the technique. So the first thing I do when a student brings in a fast passage is I have them play it through and notice what happens. Not to try to fix anything, just to set a baseline, just to notice. Do you get tighter or freer? How are you feeling emotionally? What are you thinking about? What's your sound quality? How is your accuracy? All this kind of stuff. It's just a baseline. And then we find what I call the critical moments. A critical moment is the point when you get in time, when you get tighter than you'd like to. And it's almost always just before the hard part, not just during it, but right before. So your body braces in anticipation of the difficult notes. And I call it anticipatory tension. And it is the real enemy here. So here's what you do. You break the passage down into manageable chunks. And before each chunk, you pause. Not just a quick breath, but a real pause. Like a few seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. And in that pause, you wait for two things. First, you wait for your anticipatory tension. It is a mouthful. You wait for the anticipatory tension to subside. You'll feel it. It happens all by itself. Your shoulders might drop, your hands might soften, your jaw might unclench. Your body is letting go of the bracing pattern, and it happens by itself. You don't have to try to relax. You just interrupt the pattern, and it goes away. So then, second, you wait for what I call embodied knowing to arise. That's the feeling of, oh, I got this now. See, your body requires time to coordinate your movements. And when you give it sufficient time, usually just a few seconds, your body isn't guessing anymore. It's ready, and it knows what to do. All right, so this is what you pay attention to, like I was saying earlier. So only then do you play the chunk at tempo. You can play at full speed. And then you pause again before the next chunk. And you keep repeating that process, pausing, waiting for anticipatory tension to subside, waiting for embodied knowing to arise, and only playing once you feel that readiness and ease. So Sam, the pianist I mentioned, had been struggling with fast passages for months. When he played them, I could see his neck tensing, his eyes narrowing, his hands gripping, and the sound was tight and rushed, and he was stumbling over notes. It was classic scrambling. So here's what I had him do. We broke the passage down into manageable chunks, like a measure at a time. And then we added pauses before all those chunks. And immediately something shifted. Immediately. He relaxed back into himself. He was sitting in a more balanced and poised way. His body and his hands moved as one fluid unit. His sound opened up, more resonant, more alive. And he played each chunk at tempo without making mistakes. And here's what he said in the lesson. I love this. He said, for a long time, I've been forcing myself to practice slowly. But now I can practice a little faster without being afraid of getting tense. The pauses help me to be prepared because sometimes I'm playing, it's all I can do to play catch up with the notes flying by. Right? So, in other words, the pauses gave his body time to coordinate. That's all that was missing. So now, what if you try this and you're still getting tense during the chunks? There are two things you can adjust. One is to take longer pauses. If a 2-second pause isn't enough for your anticipatory tension to subside, take 5 seconds, take 10. There's no rush. The pause is what's doing the real work. Okay, it has to be a real pause. So the second thing is to choose shorter chunks. So if you're trying to play 4 bars and your body can't coordinate all of it, try 2 or 1, or try 3 notes, try 2 notes. Only build it back up once you can reliably play something at speed with ease. Okay? Because you want to train ease into your playing. And notice, I'm going to repeat it. I said with ease and not just correctly, right? This is important because most musicians define getting it right as getting the notes at all costs. But that ignores the fact that your body is what brings the notes about. If you're tense, the notes are harder to play and they sound worse, right? So getting it right isn't just getting the technique right, it means doing it with ease and doing it with heart. And here's the beautiful part. When you play with ease, Your heart and soul often come through all by themselves. You don't have to add expression on top of accuracy. The expression emerges as an organic part of who you are when the tension gets out of the way. So this is all a more holistic definition of getting it right, one that includes your body, your sound, and your soul, not just your fingers or your voice. So if you're a musician dealing with tension, it gets worse the faster you play. There's a link in the description below to book a free discovery call. I work with musicians one-on-one to address exactly this, not just the fast passage, but the whole pattern underneath it. I also run a monthly group called the Musicians Tension Reset Lab, where we explore this live together. The link for that is below as well. So leave a comment and tell me, at what tempo does your tension kick in? Is there a specific passage or a piece where you can feel the scrambling start? So I read every comment and I'll respond to everyone as well. So let me know. So finally, please subscribe, like this video, send it to a friend. It helps more than you might think. And that's all for today. So I'll see you next time.